Jonah, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, for people that are listening that don't know who you are or what you're about or what you do, why don't you give people a rundown, sort of uh, of who you are?
All right, I'm in my late 30s. I'm from North Africa. I moved to the US about 20 years ago. Uh, I work as an engineer. I used to be an automotive tech before. That's me in a nutshell.
All right. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married,
Beautiful.
and I've been married for probably 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Nice.
coming on 10 years, so been
Congratulations.
thank you. Been good. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got some diversity on the podcast. So you're going through Ramadan right now.
Yeah.
What is the what is the purpose of Ramadan? What sort of give us a rundown on? I don't really understand it entirely, so
Yeah, so fasting is is an old tradition. It depends on what you believe. It goes back all the way to Adam's time, Noah, and all the major prophets for all the Abrahamic religions. So for the Muslim, Ramadan is the month where you basically purify your soul and your body. The fasting is supposed to have like some spiritual implications, benefits, which you actually, kind of go stay away from the joys of life during a specific time. It helps you with discipline and also helps you understand what a hungry person goes through, because a hungry person is forced to not eat or drink.
mm,
So you're kind of forcing yourself during that time, and you can actually know what it feels like. Because if you're doing it for God, then you're actually, like you put yourself, you're simulating that situation to where, like, I can't eat, I have all this, but I can't. It reminds you of the joys of life. Basically, right now we can all go eat burgers or go to a buffet and eat our fill and not get sick, but there are people that can go eat a little bit of sugar and then go in a coma, right?
right.
So you can see that, just see, like, enjoy that, the fact that you might still have your health and that stuff that's always fading, all the blessing that you have in your life that can fade one way, and you never have it again. So Ramadan helps you understand that. Can you imagine? Right now you can go and take a poop if you want easily without having to go to into some kind of medical crisis. There are people that can't.
Right.
People, you can go take a piss, if you would say. The people that can't, because they have kidney problems or whatnot, and they can only drink a little bit of water because they cannot, their kidneys can't process those large amounts of. So just, it's sort of like that, just kind of like it resets so you can count your blessings, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an element so it lands it's the same time every year, right?
Well, because in Islam we follow two calendars. You follow the Georgian calendar, that's the administrative one, and then you follow the lunar calendar
Okay.
based on 12 months. So it's a lunar calendar. So no, it shifts about 10 to 11
I
days.
see.
In the past, it used to be to where it lands almost the same time of the year, because after a few years, I'd say after 3 or 4 years, a 13th month will be added.
Hmm.
But then sometimes 1400 years ago, they did away with that to where it just stayed 12, and it rolls and it goes all through the year. So,
Right. The Gregorian calendar kind of
yes,
stuff.
yes.
Okay.
The
So
Chinese have their
13, so basically you used to go, because it shifts, it's 11 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar, right?
Okay.
It's 11 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar. And after 3 to 4 years, you're going to have to add another month, 13th month, to kind of make it match the Gregorian calendar.
Like a leap month.
Yes, like a leap month. But that was done with. I don't know why
Mm.
exactly. And now it just rolls because it's purely religious. It's not for administrative purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you born Muslim?
Yes.
Okay. Your
Yes.
parents were
Yeah.
and you're from where?
Morocco,
Morocco.
North Africa. Yes.
When did you come to the States?
2005.
Okay. How old were you?
2004. So I was about 19.
19.
Yeah.
So what were your
18.
formative years, your sort of adolescence and
hmm
teenage years? What
hmm
was that like growing up in Morocco? Like,
It was just like everywhere else. You go. you go to school, you grow up in a family, if
Hmm.
you follow your family wherever they go.
Right.
You go to your school, you learn your stuff, you got your hobbies, and you just go through the thing. So for me, I was into sports early on. I was doing kickboxing for a big part of my childhood and my early adulthood, and basically that was part of what defined what I did every day. So it's
Cool.
just a normal teenage life and adulthood life, I would say. Uh, You know, all families just like here, everybody's just trying to do their best, right?
Hmm.
Just trying to raise their families and keep them safe, keep them happy, similar to this. If you're asking in a context of like religion, well, in the media, you can look into a conservative society like a Muslim society, like in Morocco. And when you're in it, you don't notice these things. Yes, you don't have you'll have like my whole town had like two butchers that sold pork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't think of these things because you don't eat pork. You're not like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it might be a big problem for somebody that's living here, like, well, there is no bacon whatsoever.
Right.
Alcohol is not sold in a regular supermarket. There'll be a specific store that opens at specific times, usually opens at 10 a.m., closes at 8 p.m. That's where alcohol is sold, for
Okay.
example. It's not like you don't just go to any grocery store and find beer,
Hmm.
It's so those plenty, but they're kind of like because of the principles of modesty, they kind of have to be not advertised too much. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yes, so yes, there is alcohol, but it's not like something that everybody goes to.
Right. You almost have to go to this specific place. You have to
Yeah,
seek it out to get
yeah,
it.
you have to get seek it out. It's not like it's hard to seek out. Like every neighborhood had plenty of them. It's
Yeah.
just not something that the kid going to school sees and knows that's a
Right.
alcohol store. That's.
You
That's
had that in
cool.
Utah. You had to go like behind
Yeah.
stores and it was
Mhm.
like out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will be a conservative society. Yes, of course, if somebody getting used to going to Publix, Walmart, anywhere and just grabbing what they want, yes, it will be a big change.
Mhm.
Obviously, intersex relationships, they're different from a neighborhood to the other, a city to the other. So yes, you can have a girlfriend, but not in the terms not in the level that you could have it in a Western society, to where like at 13 you're already going and shacking and things like that. It's a lot
Right.
more conservative
Can you
than
hold hands?
you could if she lets you,
What if she doesn't let you?
and you don't.
Okay.
Then
No,
she'll
you're right.
scream and some stranger in the street come beat you up.
That's a good
That's good.
point.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your education like going through school and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
learning about history
yeah,
and things
yeah.
like that? I
Mm,
kind of feel like in the West,
mhm.
in the United States, a lot of our history is just sort of fake. A lot of it is not accurate too. It's a lot of
Watered down, maybe.
yeah, watered down.
Romanticized.
And a lot of it's propaganda. I mean,
Yeah,
going through high
that's true.
school, I
Yeah.
think I learned about the Holocaust and slavery over
Hmm.
and over and over
Hmm.
again. You know, it's almost like it's pushed down your
Hmm.
throat. So I'm
Yeah.
curious what uh coming to the
So,
States and sort of understanding
mhm.
this culture at 19,
Yeah.
before that, what was the education system like in Morocco?
Uh, so in Morocco, it's kind of it can be good if the kid pays attention because it goes into real details
Mm,
over specifically if you takes into consideration like history.
mhm.
So it goes into details and it comes at the kid early on. So if the kid doesn't catch up, it might just overwhelm them, right? So
Okay.
maybe they could use some watering down.
Mhm.
Because I remember at fifth or sixth grade, we're reading letters that kings sent to other kings, and those are the ones that produced like a treaty or started a war, or maybe the seed of some type of revolution that happened 15 years later. Because that guy who sent the letter to the other guy's son now grew up and went
Right.
proclaimed the promise or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So that can be overwhelming for a 12-year-old, right? But if you paid attention, then you learned,
Right.
right? And even if you don't pay attention, the exposure kind of shows you that there is more to all of this, right? So you become an adult, 25, 26 years old, and you hear something. You're not just going to take it for face value, and you don't see things as just black, white, good, evil. Things are way more complicated than that,
Right.
right? And there's always a people's element into every thing that happened. There's always a people's element. When I mean by people's element, how do the populace feel about a certain thing,
Right.
right? So you might have the best of intentions, but if the people don't agree with you, or the type of life they're living, they don't see the results you're promising, they're not gonna believe you,
Right.
right? So I might, so that in sort, it's kind of like very good if you pay attention. That's what I would say about the education over there. The science also is very good.
Mm.
Also the language, because you get exposed to languages early on. So kids will grow up speaking two languages or more. So that's another good thing. So,
Very cool.
so I think it's pretty good in general if you're well fed.
Right. Yeah. That's neat. I like what you
Yeah.
said about black and white. Everything's
Yes.
not black and white. It's not good versus evil every time. Sometimes they are
Yeah.
starkly
Yeah.
obvious that like this thing is evil, this thing is good.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing a lot of that with the war in Iran right now. I think we're on
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
15 today.
Yeah.
Um, it's sort of being propped up. And I don't know how you lean politically, if you're more conservative, more liberal.
So I'm like, I think I consider myself dead in the center.
Okay,
So when I talk to conservatives, I'm a liberal. When I talk to liberals, I'm a Nazi.
I see.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
right now I'm taking the position of the outside observer
Okay.
or the neutral
Yeah.
observer. Like I'm just watching what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's pretty complicated.
Because you're
Again,
nuanced. You can't have
yes.
nuance nowadays.
No,
No,
so that's what I try to do. From like when I talk to somebody that's really right wing, it's really difficult to get to them because everything you tell them, it's either communism or some liberal value or something.
Yeah.
And you talk to somebody super on the left, like too far on the left, and you're crazy, and
you should be killed in the
you
street.
must be you're very conservative because you're Muslim, and so
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
the situation that where I'm at right now.
What would be a liberal idea that you would say to a conservative that would make you seem like a communist or a libtard or whatever
It's the conservative.
yeah. What would you say to a
Like,
conservative that they wouldn't like?
so I am in America and I care for America because I chose it. It's my home right now.
Right.
And you tell a conservative that America is not competitive because education is not accessible,
Okay.
and then they be like, "Well, we can't pay for everybody." But you, the logistics of how you're going to educate the population is a separate subject. I'm just saying that educated, well-fed population is a healthy population, and it will produce for you.
Mhm.
However you get there, you get there. You cannot go tell a 19-year-old, hey, by the way, especially somebody who grew up in a family that doesn't have a lot of means and have a lot of dysfunction going on. Hey, by the way, go work at the Taco Bell. In the meantime, go get an engineering degree because the Chinese are producing a lot of engineers, right? See, it's really difficult. So yes, you're gonna have to help this kid go through something to learn something, right?
Right.
Now, that's super liberal when you tell somebody like that. Well, we don't want to pay for people's stupid education. Well, what is stupid education?
Mm.
And it's very often you find out that they don't know what that is. You
Right.
need experts in every field, right? Like right now, as we speak, this government, if they have relied on their experts, they have Iran experts.
Mhm.
They have departments that specializes on Middle Eastern affairs, and all they do is study, archive, document, chart decision making mechanisms in the Middle East, outcomes, what happened in the past, what did we do, what worked, what didn't work, right? Just like managing a business. You're managing a business, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a relationship, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to have because we're having to do business there and we having security commitments there,
Mhm.
right? So you have to know these things, but you don't rely on the experts because they're from that party or that party. You're not gonna win. You
Right.
don't know. You're going in blind.
Mhm.
The whole entire intelligence sphere of any country has to have experts, and those experts can be psychologists, communication major, all types of people. Now we call that stupid education right now.
Okay.
Like
It's not
humanities,
stupid, huh?
like a
Like,
humanities degree.
yeah.
Humanities are some of the most important
I
fields
agree.
out there, right?
But I think we call it that because it's become corrupted in itself. The essence
Yeah.
of what it
Well,
was is kind of gone.
it is in a way, yes, because we we run our colleges like a corporation.
Yeah.
People have to pass. We have to have a good pass rate, so people have to get the degree. So then, yes, you're gonna have these masses of people that will go and choose maybe trainings. I call education training that is not the best for the economy or for themselves.
Right.
But still, they might get some value out of it. If they're paying for it themselves, fine, right? But the reason why what I'm talking about, like the necessary sciences,
Hmm.
you have to keep enough people in them.
Yeah.
And I know this from sports. To produce a good baseball player, you have to train about 300 kids to do baseball.
Hmm.
To produce a good boxer,
Yeah.
same number, right?
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. So you have to have enough people taking those stupid classes for the cream to go to the top, and you get those intelligent people that will go and become your expert, that will guide you through whatever ventures you want to do, right?
Right.
There is a couple of those classes in college. Like for my degree, there's a
Mhm.
couple weed out
Yeah.
classes. You remember those?
Yeah.
Like linear circuits or even
For
electrostatic based.
engineering, yeah, yeah,
It
Humanities,
yeah.
funnels
it's
down
kind
to
of.
people that take it
Mhm,
seriously and get rid of the
mhm.
rest.
So you can't, you see, humanity, you can't quantify that
Right.
because the kid that might be getting C's might be the one that has the best
But
vision,
he's working two jobs.
but he's working. Well, not even that. He might just be not interested in
Oh,
what,
yeah, yeah.
but he's still learning the skills to, and then the analytical skills they're in him, and he's hooning them as he goes. And perhaps by the time he gets 25 and gets his master's degree, he become your next expert that will guide you through
Mhm.
all kinds of minefield globally,
Yeah.
right? That's not what we do. And also, I get the gripe that the right says colleges are controlled by leftists. Well, yes, they are.
Mhm.
But
It's
do you know
natural.
why?
Well, I think it's because we allowed, well, frankly, I think that we've allowed women to vote and we allowed women, no, I'm
Mm,
serious. And back in the 60s, we pushed for women the suffrage movements and all those that would be
mm,
before. But really in the 60s, we started pushing for these women. You need to go to college. You need to get a job. You need to do this. Basically, putting 50% of the population into a taxable population,
ah,
and then they oversaturate. What kind of people are getting these liberal arts degrees? They're
okay.
women, and women are illogical.
Hmm.
And that's not like a gripe at women, but that's what
Hmm.
women are. They're illogical. They're not as logical as men, and they
Hmm.
oversaturate the market. So you have a bunch of people, a group of people that are going in to oversaturate these colleges, and then that makes the college suffer from double inflation. So more people are
Hmm.
getting degrees every year, and it's costing more every year. So, and I think a lot of the issues, especially when it comes to education, when it comes to the economy, comes down to women and their role in the society. What's a woman supposed to be doing? It doesn't mean every single woman is made to be home, but the woman situation really
Hmm.
it needs to be handled.
Okay.
It needs to be handled, Jonah.
So I see it. I see it in a different light,
Okay,
right? So I can explain if you would.
I would love that.
I see it in a different light. So college career, your college, experience is all depends on access, right? And women having, getting married, and it's more acceptable for a woman to live with her parents later in life, makes it easier for women to go to college.
Hmm.
Also, the marriage is failing, the fact that they need to be more independent made it for some of them a necessity to go to college to get the training, right? So what you're saying, a lot of it, can be framed in a more, in a a different light, and yes, it's not true. It is true.
Hmm.
But the main reason that I see that colleges are controlled by leftists and sometimes far leftists is the fact that conservatives spend 40 years telling their kids our college is a scam. You have conservatives that bought the idea that college is a scam because Bill Gates started Microsoft in the garage. Well, look at the Facebook dude, right? So you have conservatives that are teaching their kids for 4 decades that college is a scam. This is fantastic until you go to the top tier of conservatives where they don't think it's a scam. They send
Right.
their kids to college. They pay big money to go to college, right? Do you see what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
No,
Absolutely.
This is where it happened because organically, the people that have nothing to do and you're telling them improve your life, they will go to college
Yeah.
because it's an easier thing than going to welding,
it
right?
used to be.
So you got 4 decades of telling people, yes, and I don't believe in degrees because some of the smartest people I've worked with did not have a degree.
Right.
I do not believe in degrees making you better, but they give you the framework. They give you they give you the training how it's supposed to happen, so you can get those skills. Because yes, my dad is, let's say, uh, let's say I'm a conservative kid, right? And my dad here is a has a blue collar job, right? He might teach me the blue collar job, which might be the best thing he can do
Mhm.
to me. But then he'll tell me college is a scam. But at the same time, I I'm going about in life and I don't know what I'm doing. I want to be a musician for some teenage years, and then later I want to be whatever sports guy, and then now I'm just gonna go and follow these dudes in their trucks and go build houses for a little bit, and then I end up somewhere. I end up somewhere. I find a guy that does HVAC, and now I'm doing HVAC,
Right.
which is a great thing.
Mhm.
But it'll take a long time. It's a nice adventure and everything, right? But it wasn't like
Structured.
very efficient.
Mm.
It wasn't very efficient because I could have decided right away to go to the HVAC if I knew what was the options, right? And go to these little community colleges, and I could have learned that trade right away, and I could have done it. But then I was told it's a scam. I could learn it without learning the trade. And then one thing that they all this figure out, then they have to go take a contractor's test. And then to take a contractor's test, you have to study, you have to learn. And some of the fundamentals are not offered everywhere. So you end up doing the same thing, just a lot more expensive because now you have to pay some dude in some hotel to teach you about the contractual requirements for your county, and
Right.
then go take that exam, and then now you're a contractor. So you could have done a lot earlier,
Mm.
a lot more efficient. So I don't think it's healthy to tell kids college is a scam. They should have the best chance in life, right? And I think this is what would happen 4 decades later. College is controlled by leftists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do notice all these right-wing people that are saying like college is a scam. Like my mind goes to Charlie Kirk, like going on college campuses, but saying college is a scam, but he still wanted to go be in front of college
Hmm.
kids
Still,
because he
yeah,
knows those are the people that are going to make the difference.
yeah,
And his kids are going to be the ones that go to college.
yeah,
It's not like
100%. Yeah,
he's going to be telling everybody
yeah.
else, go become an electrician, go become HVAC or all
Which
this,
is
but his
great.
kids aren't going to
Which
do
which
that.
is great. HVAC
It's great.
electrician. I would love if I had an HVAC company right
Yeah.
now, or some electrical, residential electric
But what
company.
happens when everybody has an HVAC company?
Yeah.
Everybody is an electrician. Yeah, then
It gets saturated. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
overstimulates the
You're fighting over the work. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That leads me to the question, Jonah. What do you feel about immigration?
Uh, it depends. So obviously, nobody wants just open borders and
Hmm.
everybody coming in as they wish. And we can put an asterisk on that because there's few things that can explain that,
Hmm.
right? But yes, immigration needs to be reformed. And immigration, to me, it's a net positive for the country. Maybe not for the sociocultural side of things. If you want your society to look a certain way, your society will definitely have to be more open to these other cultures coming in. But it is a net positive. If you're a capitalistic country, you're driven by profit, right? And what are
Okay.
people? People are engines of
Hmm.
economic growth.
Hmm.
We are all little miners, right? If we were in a matrix, we are these little miners that this matrix have created, then we're producing wealth, either our wealth or somebody else's wealth.
Hmm.
And then where residuals can happen, and then you can have some residual gains, and then you can grow your own wealth, and then you can propagate. That's capitalism. So if you live in a capitalistic society, you need to maintain the growth of your population, your
Right.
productive population, right? The reason why I say it's a net positive because very often you'll get a person that's trying to change their life, and this side of like if you just look at it as a transfer function, right?
Hmm.
You don't know what they did. You'll find that they have contributed to that
Mm.
economy, and if you take them out of their economy, you're taking away all the
Like a
all
brain drain almost?
huh
Like a brain drain?
not a brain drain to other countries,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
well an 18-year-old doesn't have much of a you
They
know
have potentiality though.
but they have
Mhm.
potential. But this is an 18-year-old that you didn't have to pay his family food stamps so they can raise him. He didn't have to pay for their schools, middle school, elementary school, whatever. And then they're here to work.
So like
They're not.
assimilation would be a good way to view that. I mean, if they don't assimilate, then it's a drain.
What is assimilation? In what way?
To be absorbed into the culture that you've entered into, to
Yes.
become an American. Like,
Okay.
and
Good.
I would put something beside, like you said, productive
Yeah.
immigrants. But I think the difference in what we're seeing now in the past 10 years versus what we saw 20 or 30 years ago, or even at the beginning,
Hmm.
um, is a difference in quality and quantity. We're not
Yeah.
getting quality. I mean, the 10 million that came
Yeah.
in the past 4 years under Joe Biden
Hmm.
are not the quality. We're getting Haitians, we're getting Somalians, we're getting a bunch of people that one are unable to assimilate into the United States because they have a completely different culture. In some cases, they don't even have a structured government in these
Yeah.
places. And they're violent and they're not it's not like we're getting Europeans. It's not like we're getting people that are innovators or people that are like good at producing. It's that we're getting bottom of the barrel pieces of shit from these shithole countries, to the greatest country in the world.
So when they show up, like in 1902,
Okay.
Ellis Island, when people showed up,
Hmm.
they were dirty.
Hmm.
They were not
They were
skilled in
Irish.
many. They were not very skilled.
Right.
They did not know what to do. They didn't have money.
Hmm.
They came to New York and they lived in slums, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they sometimes partook in the gang violence, right?
Right.
It's you know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, it's really hard to assess if this is going to be a productive member of society, right?
But we could base it
Like,
off the history. If they come from a country that if we had two immigrants
yeah.
and one comes from a country in sub-Saharan Africa that didn't figure out how to invent the wheel until 1950s, and then we have a person from Europe that, built their ancestors built cathedrals, I think there's a totally different qualitative difference between the two. Who would you rather have? The guy from Europe that basically the United States was built on European values as well in the West,
Hmm.
or a person from
Well,
Haiti.
that person isn't coming here right now. You
That's
see
what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying.
But if you met him in 1902,
You
you would
wouldn't.
think he's just a useless guy
Hmm.
because he's just 50 years ago his ancestors were dying from famine.
Hmm.
Right.
You know, there's a couple 100,000 Brits in Ireland and millions of Irish people, and they couldn't
Yeah.
overthrow them.
Well, it's
And then they're
England as
making
well.
them grab their crop and sell it to
Yeah.
abroad, and they're
Yeah.
dying. So, what quality would that be? What quality would you see in that
I
Irish?
think it would
You're not
be
going to see a lot of
right,
quality
but
in
I
that.
think with the introduction of new
Yeah,
evidence, we know what Ireland has done, we know what
yeah,
Germany's
yeah.
done, we know what all
Well,
these.
I'm not. I respect the island's Irish tremendously, right?
Right.
I'm not digging on that. I'm not,
It's okay. I'm Irish. I
I'm
can
not
keep saying
jabbing at
shit.
the Irish here. What I'm trying to say is you said it yourself earlier that the history is changing, right?
Hmm.
Is not real.
Right.
A lot of sub-Saharan African. There was a Kushite civilization there. It was rivaling the
Hmm.
Egyptian one, and it
Hmm.
continued. You know, Kushite civilization is where Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and beyond, and Kenya is right now. They they have had a society that was very innovative. There was a Timbuktu one, which was like in Mali and southern, going all the way to Senegal, Benin, and Ivory Coast. You gotta take the historic context of this. Like if I bring Florida and just shut it down and beat it down and make every Floridian just produce something,
Right.
produce rubber or produce something for decades, I'm damaging that culture beyond repair.
Right.
And saving
And
money and all the aid
y-
makes them doesn't have to.
yeah, and then well, not just the aid, and then the endless conflicts there.
Oh yeah.
So if again, I love this like pre-World War One analogies because
Mm.
most of the world was living like shit. Most of
Right.
the world was like most cities stunk. Most people didn't really didn't really have the manners that you see right now. Nobody stood in line. People robbed and and stole from
Civic
each other.
sense.
There was no real hygiene sense.
Hmm.
So if you think about this, what happened to those countries was atrocious. You know King Leopold of Belgium? what he
I've
did
heard
in the
it, but I'm not.
Congo.
No, tell me.
So the King Leopold of Belgium literally considered Congo his property,
Okay.
and they what he did is his Belge, right? And that was the imperialistic venture of the Belge in Africa. And then Congo is a huge country, tremendous resource. Basically, they did what any anybody did. They got rid of the ruling class, they got rid of all the infrastructures, and they destroyed their cities, and they just went to their villages, and they gave everybody quota on getting us rubber.
Mm,
We needed rubber for all kinds of industries, and the quotas were: you're gonna go give me rubber, I'm gonna cut your daughter's hands. You're gonna give me rubber, I'm gonna kill your mom.
Mhm.
And these are how they enforced it. They're terrorizing that population.
Right.
They damaged it. 11 million Congolese died. They lost their culture, they lost their language, they lost all their history.
Mhm.
And then when they wanted to revive under another democratic government, so there was some reform. The Belge has some type of, economic influence, some military influence with the help of the French. When they had Patrice Lumumba, if you look him up, he was a democratically elected leader, and he was taking him up. And there was this ruling class now that's educated, that's eloquent, that's trying to instill the new standards of civilization. He got killed and thrown in a barrel of acid.
mm,
Only survived. The only surviving thing that belonged to him was his gold teeth that were only returned to Congo in a casket like 15 years ago or 10 years ago.
wow.
So I'm just trying to tell you, like, some of this stuff, there's a lot of revision in the history, right?
Yeah.
And you're a Christian, you're Catholic,
Mhm.
so you believe that everybody's equal, right?
Right.
Yeah, like the faith
Absolutely.
tells you that. So a lot of our societies are a reflection on what was put in it. A traumatized, not well-fed society is not going to be very productive,
Yeah.
right? And that's what it is. Like, and then it's really hard to decide who is the quality immigrant, because there's not a lot of Danish people that are coming here. All the Danes I've met, they don't like America.
Right.
They think it's too loud,
Mm.
too temporary. They want to
Opulent.
live a simple life. They love their socialist governments, free
Hmm.
healthcare. They don't want to worry about insurance.
Right.
I'm gonna pay you. You're gonna educate me, educate my kids. And if I go crazy, you become schizophrenic, you're gonna pay my rent until I die. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not finding there's no line of Swedish or anybody. Yes, in the past they did, they came, but now nobody's coming here. So you're gonna have these war-torn countries are the countries that are going to send you people.
Yeah.
They're not going to get a rich Moroccan is not coming here.
Right.
A UAE guy is not coming here.
Right.
Saudi's not coming here.
Yeah.
Sell freedom all you want. He doesn't care. He's got a big house. He's
Yeah.
married. He's got a house, kids. He can travel around. As long as he doesn't get bombed right now,
Right.
he's probably fine.
Right.
Does
So
work visas a part of the immigration process? I'm not well
no, the
versed on it.
migration process is the worst in the world.
Mm.
It's heavily bureaucratic. It doesn't have a lot of resources. It doesn't vet very well, and it's in some situations it's used as a currency, because I am a recipient of the diversity visa lottery. That's how I came here,
Okay.
right? So that diversity visa lottery is basically like currency that you give your friend, your ally countries, for some favors. And the favor is Morocco was trying to industrialize since the 70s, since the 70s, but because there is a nice, the blue state
Hmm.
about a couple thousand miles away, part of their agenda is nobody should industrialize in the Arab world, because if they do industrialize, God forbid, they might make fridges, and then if they make fridges, they can make missiles, and they're
Right.
gonna attack us, right?
Yes.
So it's seeing an enemy in everybody. So part of it is, okay, we're gonna trade with Morocco in the better terms. We're gonna trade with this other country in the better terms. We're gonna help them in ways that can maybe replace them industrializing.
Okay.
But that's not true, because your population is growing. You need new jobs.
Right.
And then you can't rely on tourism and selling dirt, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what Morocco does right now. They sell phosphate,
Hmm.
and that's just basically dirt.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Fancy
Yeah.
dirt.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like most people that are gonna come here, they're not gonna look like they're gonna fit in. But and it's usually the goal is their second generation to
Right.
fit in. And what the State Department wants is they want you to assimilate economically, have some type of contribution, business, whatever, pay taxes. That's it.
Yeah.
The parents that brought you here will die. You're going to become the American Somali. You're going to become the American Kenyan. You're going to become the Haitian American, right?
Right.
Now, America is facing a lot of economical turmoil, especially the lower classes, the poor and the middle class. So it's not easy even for the ones that are well established.
Hmm.
So obviously, when you come in with no training, no educational language, you're not going to be making tons of money. And if you have a family, you're going to have to rely on social services.
Right.
And that's what it is. That's
What
basically how I see it, you know.
What do you think about a complete stop on immigration for like a 10-year stop to kind of get our bearings back?
Uh, that's probably fine. I mean, if that's what the country wants to do, that's what the country wants to do. I
Do you
mean,
think that would be good for the country?
if it would be good for the country. It depends on what sectors will be affected. If you're talking tech, it will be bad for the country
Okay.
because brown people are overrepresented
Hmm.
in technology
Right.
A lot of
fields.
Indians.
Indians. Yeah.
Not just Indians, Indians, North Africans, Middle Easterns, and Africans. Plenty,
Yeah.
plenty, plenty, plenty. I'm dealing with a designer now that's from Nigeria. Another group I'm dealing with, he's from Congo. He's an engineering manager. He's from Congo. The board of his engineers, they're all level four, level five engineers,
Hmm.
and they're all either Asians or Africans or
They like H-1B kind of
no, no,
visa program?
no, these are citizens just
Okay.
because of the type of work they're doing.
Right.
But a lot of other programs are doing the same thing. Our hospitals will fail without getting, doctors and nurses from other places. And again, that's what I'm saying. We're not going to continue to be competitive if we don't educate this population here.
Yeah.
But then the minute you bring that up, you're a communist. You want to
Right.
give everybody
It's
free,
almost
free.
like that we give that so that we
Yes,
can repair the other side of
yes.
things.
So yes, temporarily we should keep bringing these people in because you need them for the field that they engage in. I mean, you need the staff. You have a business, you need the staff, and then
Mhm.
and if you see construction is overly like the Mexicans mainly are the core of a lot of construction businesses
Yeah.
around, right?
There's a big myth about that.
Yeah,
Everybody says that the construction people would fail. I think it's a myth because,
they might not fail, yeah, but it just like
well, I have a GC that'll call me and I do remodeling. I
mm,
get called in
hmm
to fix where the Mexicans screwed up.
yeah, yeah,
The white guy's got to go clean up the Mexican mess for the
yeah.
most part, because I'm actually able to speak English and
Yeah,
understand
yeah, I understand.
why
I
things
understand.
are.
But the
Yeah,
core of
yeah.
the forest
Okay.
right now, and it's basically it's inherently hard, and they're doing it because, and I'm not sure if they're doing it for a lot less money. They probably getting paid the same money as a white guy would, but
Hmm.
they're more reliable because they don't have other options, right?
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like my wife is white and she works with kids right now, and if she hates her job, she gonna stay home for 2 weeks and find another one.
Yeah.
For them, that's not what they do. They're gonna work with that crew and they're gonna stay with it for 5, 6 years or more. What I'm saying is it's a net positive. I'm not saying open border, let everybody in, but
Right.
we have to have a little bit of patience. We have to have a little bit of, kind of like put yourself in their shoes, right? Like that poem, "Give me your tired, your."
Yeah.
So a lot of people buy into that. They
Hmm.
believe this. You
Yeah.
have to understand that America sold itself to the world.
Yeah.
Like movies from the 70s and the 80s, all about I'm gonna come from across the street and go open your fridge and grab your food. I'm showing plenty full, plenty of goods and stuff, and I drive a car into the garage and we just laugh about it. So
It's
that
basically what beat
the
Brazil
number
is.
one exporter of culture in the world is the United States. So we're exporting a culture that's not really true.
Right.
And then all these people believe like, yeah, would you want to go to Germany where you can actually have free healthcare and education, or we want to go to America? Most people would prefer America because of what they saw in movies,
Hmm.
and how great the life is. And we did that. And then also we did that in a way where we getting involved in shit that we shouldn't get involved in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
go
do not like
create
that.
problems somewhere, and then the people are going to come from that place because you grabbed some guys, like say you're gonna have some illegal Afghanis here,
Hmm.
but why the illegal Afghanis come in here?
Yep. Because we
Because we took
destabilized.
no, no, because not because that, because mainly because we grab thousands of Afghanis and we give them refugee status.
Yeah.
So they
Amnesty.
see that it's happening. They see that you recognize their plight, so they're going to come to the border to be a refugee.
Right.
We did this some Somalis. We brought a lot of Somalis here
Yeah.
with the refugee status, put them in planes, brought them here because they worked with the U.S. And now all the Somalis that heard that, like, well, they recognize our plight. We're going to go there because to get a refugee status, the country that accepts you have to really believe that you're not safe. And going back to where you're from.
Yeah.
Now, I know this whole Somali thing about Minnesota and stuff, and I will tell you this right now. The system is so broken that all this, all this, how do you call it? I forgot how it's called. It has a word. So that for the state to not have the burden of actually taking care of an autistic person or a schizophrenic person, they pass that on to
Small
private
businesses and yeah.
businesses. Those private businesses, they have to talk to Medicare, which is kind of like an insurance, or sometimes an insurance
Hmm.
that that kid is under because their parents are paying for it.
Hmm.
And then that business, now their responsibility is not only to take care of, give the care needed for that kid, whether they're autistic or developmentally challenged or mentally ill of some sort, they have to give the care that's needed to stabilize them or keep them okay, and they have to fight for their nut. They have to go fight these insurance companies and Medicare for the money.
Hmm.
And the money that they're given is not enough.
Right.
So, yes, I will tell you this right now. I will cut off my left arm, right? If you find a company that's not scamming.
Oh,
There's
Yeah.
not one.
Right.
Not inherently Somalis
Yeah.
or Nigerians or
Oh yeah,
Haitians.
absolutely.
Every company.
But there is something
They
particularly offensive when an outside group
I
comes
understand.
in.
I
You know, there's
understand.
something
I
if my
understand.
own brother steals from me in my house, I'm going to be pissed off.
I
But
understand.
if
But
a
it right.
freaking Somali breaks
But
into
I'll
my
be
house,
it's even extra
it's
offensive. I get
more.
that point. I get that point. Same thing with like violence, like
Yes.
with violence. If you come here and you're violent, I mean, I know there's a statistic that came out this summer that was saying that basically these like let's say the shooting that was talking about the shooting somewhere,
Trannies?
huh? The
Trannies?
mass shootings,
Oh,
mass shootings, right? Mass shootings that are done
yeah.
by basically brown immigrants,
Yeah.
right, is less than 2.7%
Right.
of all of it.
oh yeah.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
The majority of it, I mean, obviously
Mhm.
it's majority white, so yes, the majority is white.
Right.
Then it comes, it's
Per
proportional
capita and all
per
that. Yeah,
capita.
yeah.
But that one will make the noise,
Well,
Of
if you
the,
like
course.
someone new
yeah,
and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
especially if their name is Muhammad, right? So
Yeah. Well, especially right now, I think we
yeah,
had like three, which,
yeah.
could be argued that are false flag. I think we have a false flag sort of incoming in the United States.
Yeah, a massive mass casualty thing.
Yeah.
Well,
In the past week or
they
so, there's been like three
in
shootings.
2023, the lot of intelligence outside of here have captured chatter about mass casualty events
Yeah.
that could be potentially beneficial to somebody, and
Yeah.
so they have planted this thing where maybe it happened and blame them.
Even if they didn't do it or plan it, they could still say that we did this to make
Yeah,
themselves more powerful or whatever,
yeah,
Yeah.
to
yeah,
funnel.
But,
yeah,
Iran, like in the situation we're in right now, Iran would never claim a mass casualty event. I mean, there have been bombings in Qatar and things that
mhm.
Iran is saying we didn't do that. And
Well,
a
yeah,
lot of the missiles,
they found Asians. There's some blue state Asians
hmm,
in Qatar and UAE that were planning to bomb the refineries.
and I wonder who they're
Yeah,
in bed with. A lot of the times the
uh,
missile direction,
yeah.
they'll say, like in Qatar, there was some base that was hit. They
They,
said the missile direction came from Jordan,
yeah,
and kind of in that
yeah.
direction, it's like,
Well, they arrested Asians right now.
hmm,
I can send you a link later.
Chinese,
No,
Koreans,
yeah,
Japanese people, my good old Japanese.
starts with a J.
Oh, those Asians?
Anyway, they're Asians, all right.
Those people give me the Hebrew jeebies. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. So they captured about two or three instances where they were trying to, sabotage some refineries,
Yeah,
and that kind of it's still under investigation. But
it'll continue
the
to be.
Middle East have seen that for years and years and years. It's not the first time,
Right.
and false flag, they're the masters of false flag. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
So,
how. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
what do you think? What do you think about this Iran war? What do you think is going to be? How do you think it's going to play out? We're sort of in the place to where last week Trump said there would be unconditional surrender from Iran's
Yeah.
part. That means
No.
boots on the ground. That means a full-scale war.
I think if he wants an unconditional surrender, he has to invade
Yeah.
and
Famously
basically
works.
just get rid of them, huh?
Which famously works for the Middle East.
Yes, it does work very well, especially for a country that's four times the size of Iraq,
Yeah.
built like a fortress.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally,
They're
the
all like
Zagros
underground.
Mountains, and so it's not gonna work. No.
Yeah. 90 million people, and we're about to
Yes,
just overthrow.
yes,
We killed
yeah.
the
So 10
Ayatollah.
million, we already counted the 10 million Kurds to be on our side, or the 9 million Kurds
Okay.
to be on our side.
Mhm.
But the basically the prime minister of the Kurds just released a couple statements and went on a couple of interviews, and he literally says, "We've been at war for so long. This is not our war. We're not gonna go to war with Iran."
He had a target in his head now.
So because the the Kurdistan now is autonomous region of Iraq. So it's
Mhm.
still under Iraq, but it's an autonomous region. Now the Kurds, I don't know if you understand the story of the Kurds, right?
No, I do not.
So the Kurds, they got left out. When the Brits started drawing lines, they got
Mhm.
left out,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
And their story, the reason their gripe is should be with Iraq because the Kurds are Iranians, right?
Okay.
They're Sunni Iranians,
Okay.
and they
As
have
opposed to Shiite.
yes, Shiite. Shiite is Iran is predominantly Shiite, and
Yeah.
they were Sunni Iranians. And then the Kurds, they too had a little bit of, a supremacy movement a few times, few centuries where they get, we're the first warriors, we're the first
Mhm.
this, we're the first that, and
Hell
they
yeah.
they try to fight their wars, and they always pick fights that they cannot win. So the
Okay.
reason that they were dispersed, if you look at the map put in front of you, you got Iran right here, and then you got the Kurds. There's a corridor where all
Mhm.
the Kurds are.
Okay.
That corridor, you have Turkey, you have Syria, you have Iraq, and you have uh, Iran right here, and then you have Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Yep.
So this is their migration trail.
Okay.
So as they were facing problems with the Shiites
In
in
Iran?
Iran, one of the Sultan Usman, I forgot which one his name. One of the Turks sultans
Mm.
gave them land
Okay.
in the Ottoman Empire,
Yeah.
right? So they don't have to fight anymore. So just settle here. You're here. You're home now. Fine. We're not fighting those crazy Persians no more.
Okay.
Done. Now the people that draw the maps, they're like, well, who are the Kurds? They're everywhere, right? So you're not gonna give them
The huge
eight
range. Yeah.
countries.
Right.
So they never gave them anything because who are the Kurds? Well, they're everywhere. Eh?
Mhm.
What do they speak here? They speak Arabic. Where do they speak there? They speak Kurdish and Arabic. Okay, same. Fucking,
Yeah.
they're Iraqis.
Yeah, I
You know
see.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now they don't have a country, and they have the autonomous region. But then they could benefit from more space, I guess. But they'd still be landlocked. Their biggest gripe will be with the Turks and with the Iranians,
Mhm.
which that land wasn't historically theirs anyway.
Mhm.
They've been there for 400 years, 500 years, so it's theirs. But are you gonna just because you've been there for 400 years, you're gonna say it's your country now and split Turkey and split, Syria? No,
Right.
I don't think it makes
That'll go
total
well with
sense.
the Turks.
It's not gonna go well with the Turks. The Turks went and grabbed all the high grounds in certain areas
Mhm.
Mm.
in Syria. Syria was like, whatever, take it. Just in case we start
Yeah.
to financing some incursion there.
Yeah.
So there is still hope that we will cohorts the Iranian Kurds to fight the Iranians, but they live in the low ground. The high ground is still gonna belong to the Shiites, and they're gonna get about wiped out. Like if we stop the airstrike support for a day, they'll
Oh
fucking
yeah.
get
Gone.
killed.
Yeah.
So it's a slaughterhouse, and they understand that, and also they're tired of war. Everybody just
Oh
see it
yeah.
Their
clearly.
whole lives. And then their
So
grandparents' lives too.
I rambled too much about this, but the question was like, what do you think about it, right? I think it's a mistake. I
Oh yeah.
think it's a problem. I think it's a mistake. I think we've done enough now. We should just figure out a off ramp for Trump to say, "I won. I'm
Yep.
the best guy in the world,"
It's actually pretty easy to
and
do.
leave it alone.
Hmm.
But our the biggest ally is not gonna want that because the biggest ally wants basically they have um they have a couple ambitions there, and one of it is to control the area
Mm-hmm.
economically and with population.
What's that strait called that we get a lot of oil through?
Oh,
Hormuz,
yeah.
Hormuz. We don't get a lot of oil from it. The
It's a good trade
Chinese,
route.
Hmm.
yeah, the Chinese, Japanese, these are the biggest market. Chinese, Japanese, and India are the biggest market from it.
Mm.
So it accounts for 20% of the value
Okay.
of the market. Now, taking 20% of supply doesn't mean the prices are going to go by 20%. It causes a bidding war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bidding war, you know what all
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Short
so
term.
for the market to stabilize, it's not going to stabilize at 20% because if we wake up tomorrow and the gas is $15, we're still going to go to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? 'Cause
You
it's
have
cheaper
to.
to pay $15 a gallon
Yeah.
than losing your job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that cost it has potential to keep going and going five, six times fold, right? So that's the problem. And it chokes other countries that are, for now, still playing ball, like China. China, for now, is still playing ball
Hmm.
because they're not offering any support to Iran other than some intelligence,
Yeah.
right? And they're testing their tech. The Russians are not offering any supply to Iran of lethal anything other than intelligence. That's it.
Hmm.
It can when once you give people no reason, like right now, if Iran is making an atomic bomb in a garage,
Right.
what are they going to lose? You're already killing their leaders, and
Yep.
every time
They
another
have more
one,
of an incentive to do
they
that
have
now.
more of an incentive
Hmm.
to do that now,
Yeah.
and they have enough to build about, I think, something like a dozen or more
I think is
bombs.
it enriched already? That's what kind of
They,
wording that.
So
so they were holding
enrich,
threshold status
yeah,
before, right?
yeah,
So back when we struck them last July,
yeah,
they were maintaining threshold status to where
yes. We
they
have
could enrich it
inspectors there.
more.
Yeah, for
Right.
like, was it
We have inspectors.
200?
They have not kicked out
Yeah.
the inspectors. They're
Right.
still there. Yeah.
So that was, I mean, in the whole bunker buster thing, the Operation, whatever it is,
Hmm.
12-day war, the
Hmm.
Operation Midnight Hammer,
Hmm.
that was that was a pretext.
Yeah.
That was totally not even a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
We didn't really destroy their
Yeah.
centrifuges or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I think they grabbed that stuff out probably. But now, well, they don't need a centrifuge to make an atomic bomb. They can just make
Make
it
a
in a
dirty bomb.
garage.
Hmm.
Okay.
They can make a dirty bomb, not just with radioactive
Hmm.
material, with the water with the
Yeah.
waste
Yeah,
water.
which is bad,
Yeah.
usually.
So yeah, so they can do that. So now they have an incentive because
Mhm.
every leader comes out, you kill them. You proved everything they taught about America to be true.
Yep.
That you can't trust them, that you can't do deals with them, and if you don't hit them first, this is what happens to you.
Yep. Because
So the
diplomacy
next,
is fake.
yes,
We
yeah,
have completely shat on our own
yeah,
diplomacy
yeah,
because for twice we were in the stages of negotiations and in
mhm,
the middle of negotiations with Iran.
yeah, we kill somebody, yeah.
Is it our
But
fault?
here's the thing. The biggest problem was in 2016, 17, when Trump pulled out of the nuclear deal right away
Yes.
under the order of President Netanyahu, because
Yep.
that's our
Yeah.
president,
That
really.
is our president. Yeah.
So when we pulled out, now I'm going to sound like a little crazy liberal, but if you actually learn about, and there's this podcast of a person that I actually know, you
Mm.
know, and he he's a college professor, leftist as fuck, and he's one of the people that kind of like he's I forgot what he's part of, but he's a nuclear arms specialist. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't build guns, but the
He
logistics of things,
understands.
right? He
Okay.
understands. I'll send you his page, and
Okay.
you can do with it as you wish, right? As you will.
Maybe we'll have him on.
No, well, he's up north, and he's also like he's got like thousands of followers and stuff
Oh,
in
okay.
his thing. So
We'll get there.
Fine.
he's like a bougie
Oh,
guy.
he's too good for us,
He's
huh?
Oh,
bougie,
I
yeah.
see how it is.
Okay.
Classic
Yeah.
leftism.
I
Yeah.
only know him.
Classic.
Yeah, I only met him one time,
Is he
and
Asian?
huh?
Is he Asian?
No, he's white.
Oh,
Yes. He's not my friend. My friend. He's my friend's friend.
Okay.
okay.
An acquaintance.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What
So
was he? What did you say? We gotta get out.
What did he say? What did he say? Well, he explains the whole nuclear deal.
Oh, okay.
He explains the whole nuclear deal, right? And as I said, I'm going to sound like a leftist right now because it makes sense. It makes sense. Iran has agreed to allow all the inspectors in,
Mhm.
signed the nuclear proliferation deal,
Mhm.
committed to only use it for peaceful stuff,
Mhm.
and under our supervision.
Right.
They reduced everything they have to less than 20% that they had
Mhm.
prior to this war. And the maximum enrichment was 20%. The maximum enrichment was 20% on our inspectors.
Yep.
Hmm.
In return, well, what do they get for that?
Nuclear power.
They get they get some security guarantees
Oh, okay, gotcha.
that okay, we're gonna be honest. We're not gonna let somebody come just mess you up anytime they want. You know who,
Right.
right? And you get some of your money that we took from you in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
About something like 100, $200 billion that we took from them.
Hmm.
We got to give them some of that money back.
Okay.
Now, to anybody who spends 5 minutes reading what this means will understand what's happening. But that's not what the American populace heard. They just heard Obama is giving Iran money and making them strong and more threatening to our friends.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, he's giving them money. Why is he giving them money? Because they had reduced everything and they were
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
What do? We keep going. We keep our best ally keep going to their country and killing their people, murdering their scientists,
Hmm.
murdering like not just enough that they are complying, they're going and killing the head of their programs.
See,
That
well,
would be literally like somebody coming here
Mhm.
and murdering the CEOs of defense companies we have
mhm.
and the people that are most crucial to those programs.
Right.
Can you imagine if somebody does that? You know?
The people that died in the operation you said were like head scientists.
Yeah, yeah. Multiple times, and it happened in 2019, and
Mm.
then it happened in 2019 where they would just killed a bunch of scientists, and it's like you just going bombing colleges now, and
Yeah, that's really sad.
because you're so paranoid that they're gonna make something that's gonna, and then you end up making it. You look for an enemy, you end up making an enemy. You
Yeah,
know,
Right.
if I'm every day calling you, you're racist. Look at you, you hate me.
you're a
One day
Nazi.
you're gonna fucking hate me and say,
Yeah.
yeah, I hate you because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you make it. Oh yes, yes, buddy, yes, buddy. He's like, I'm with you. I'm
He's
with
not
you.
racist.
Yeah, look at him. He's my brown buddy right
I'm with you.
here. Anyway, so it's a mistake. A ground
Yeah.
incursion can happen.
Yeah.
It'll probably be very costly. It's not Iraq because in Iraq we had that first year we had some support from the population until we started killing their kids,
Mhm.
and then they're like, "Yeah, you guys are crazy."
Yeah.
But with Iran, I don't think that
It's gonna,
exists. You
yeah,
know, it's gonna be out of windows, and it's gonna be in the roadways, and
which is not what you want to do in a ground
it's gonna
invasion.
be they're gonna you gotta understand, man. They survived thousands of years intact. You gotta understand this. They had the Mongols, they had the Tatar, they had anybody, you name it. They fell for those people. They fell for Alexander the Great.
Hmm.
Do you know what happened to Alexander the Great and his descendants? They became Persians.
Yep.
Do you know what happened to the Mongols that came there? They became Persians.
Hmm.
Do you happen what happened to the Arabs that came and invaded Persia? They became Persians. I let you know
Yeah.
that's what's happening. That's like when the Arab conquest happened and they actually finally Persia fell to the Arab rulers of the time. They realized that this country knows how to administer and how to do like ruling. We're just gonna let you do that, and then they modeled the rest of the
I
the
see.
Muslim world
Yeah.
Very
based on that.
decentralized.
Very decentralized, more like a matrix, not,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's every little village have its a leader and every higher they have a
Hmm.
very
That's basically how our
incorporate.
military works.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, okay, well, how are you gonna do that? You're gonna take a couple villages and call a victory, and then yeah, you're gonna give some locals some guns, and they're gonna go die, and you're gonna do that for 10 years, and three presidents later, we're gonna pull out,
Yeah.
Right.
and then what do we call this? Failed state for what? Yeah,
It seems like the point is destabilization.
well, the point is destabilization, yes, but destabilization, they need to learn that it never worked because it didn't make Israel safer.
Right.
Destabilizing any of these countries didn't make any. They didn't add to the safety of Israel. It made it worse.
Yeah.
It is,
Especially right now because
yeah.
we see a big move of not only on the on the front, I mean, they say they're fighting a seven front war. It's
Yeah,
really an eight front war
yeah,
with the social media stuff, but
yeah,
that eighth front, the social
yeah,
media is sort of like it's not only getting backlash from the people that are in the Middle East that have
yeah.
been putting up with Israel's
Mm,
nonsense for so long, but it's the opposite side too. A lot of
mhm.
people in the United States are what they would call anti-Semitic,
Yeah,
but they're just pushing back against
yeah,
we're seeing all this stuff,
yeah,
especially with the Trump movement.
yeah,
Trump started something new when he came up and he said the
yeah,
Iraq war was a problem.
yeah,
That was a mistake.
yeah.
It's almost like his mistake
Hmm.
that's biting him in the ass now, that
Hmm.
people are going against him now, are the very things he was standing up for
Yeah,
in his first term.
yeah. But also, didn't they say that they didn't have a choice? Didn't Marco Rubio come out and say
Yeah, that
they were
Israel forced
attacking
us.
anyway, and then we had to go and attack because think about it this way: you're you're about to go crash that car into that house,
Right. How'd you know?
but then you thought you want to help him out, so you
Yeah,
went and killed the guy that owned the
that's right.
house because you know he was going to come and do
Like,
something.
go crash it anyway. It's fine.
But you
Right.
go, what's what?
Yeah.
This
Instead
was
of cutting
nuts,
the
man.
tires,
Yeah.
This was nuts. So
like
this
wait.
stabilization will not help anybody. And this is what, the purchase of TikTok and all that stuff is going to help with the social media, believe me, in a couple
But
of
TikTok
years.
was just bought by Larry Ellison,
Yeah, yeah. And then CNN, and it's going to be by David Ellison.
PBS, and
Yeah. It's gonna
Oh,
drive a
wait.
lot of media that will make everybody forget this
Mhm.
that even happened, and make it all about,
But in this moment,
yeah,
I don't think that people are going to forget. I think that there's a dislike for
yeah,
Israel
yeah.
that's so strong and palpable.
It
What
was like that in the 60s. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
really?
It was like that in the 60s, and people just forgot. I mean, it brainwashing is a very,
You
very
think people are
powerful
going to
tool.
forget their disdain they have for Israel right now?
Yes, they will. You
Really?
won't. You won't. But your kid is gonna be arguing with you in 10 years that
Mhm.
you're wrong, and he'll call you a bigot. Because it's a long game. It's not like right now. This is the thing because America is so young nation, they always think in in
Now,
terms of now and the recency biases and
But
stuff
these
like that.
people that
No, like
they have been thinking for
no,
10, 20, 30 years.
10, 20, 30 years. Your kid will come to your house and tell you you're wrong, daddy, you're a bigot,
Hmm.
you know?
so he beat her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just this game. I've seen this episode before,
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say to you. Uh, Now I don't know what's gonna happen. Destabilization is not gonna fix anything. If they're really honest about a peace process, there are a lot of peace partners in the Middle East that want to do peace with them, but they don't want to really have the peace. They want to have control.
But it does seem like we're
Uh,
heading in a positive direction with imagine the approval of the Iraq war, which wasn't super high, but it
mm,
would be higher than the approval right now for
yeah,
the Iran war.
yeah.
It is sort of a waking of the
Yeah,
consciousness.
yeah, maybe. Hopefully, because who doesn't want peace? Who doesn't want prosperity, right?
Right.
I want peace. I want prosperity. I want to be friends with Israel. I want to go to Israel and Palestine and see them and be like, yeah, look, this is nice. They can live together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can happen.
But if one side doesn't want to and have all the sticks, what are you gonna
Mm.
do?
Right.
They dictate the rules, and that's what's gonna happen there. I think it's just gonna be a mess. Iran is probably gonna fall into the
Chaos.
dark ages,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna hibernate. They're gonna sit, and they're gonna breed some more.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come out of this probably another 120, 130 million people, and they're not gonna forget.
Hmm. What's our time we got over there?
We're at an hour and five.
Hour and
Yeah.
five?
So I don't know what else I could say about this. I was gonna say something. Yeah,
What do you think is the most evil force happening in the world right now?
right now. Well, the evil force. I don't like to paint things in one color,
But
but
okay, so
yeah,
think about it like this. Let me reframe it.
fragmentation of. I would tell you anything that will fragmentate collective conscience, right? So you're an American,
Mhm.
you're Catholic, you're not very different than that Protestant Catholic. You're also not very different than the one that is an agnostic because you share some values with them,
Right.
right? Seeing them as the other
Mhm.
is fragmenting you
Okay.
all. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, this is an episode I've watched already. I come from the old world
Hmm.
because up to the 1920s, all of us were Arabs, right?
Right.
But then some psyops happened, and
Hmm.
now, no, 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 you're not Arab. You're Syrian,
Yeah.
Sumerian. You're really Levantinian. You're really this. You're really
Fragmented.
that, and then
Yeah.
fragment everything, right?
Mm.
Now, all these people that look the same, eat the same, talk the same. Oh, I'm Phoenician.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I
See what
see.
I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So evil starts there. It'll defragment everything. It makes it so different for you and I, so difficult for you not to get along and find a common ground.
Hmm.
Right. And that's whatever is doing that
Yeah.
is the evil, is the true evil, because
Yep.
that's what controls stuff. That's how England, in a small island, beat India.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You are the ruler in this province. He's
Hmm.
the ruler in the other province. He's younger than you. You trust him. You grew up together, but I'm going to start giving him guns and ships. I'm going to come to you, so he's challenging you,
Right.
right?
Yep.
What
Britain
do
was
I
so
do?
good at that
Well, you
game.
need
Oh
more
yeah.
guns and ships.
Yeah.
You got to give us all of that. Okay, never mind. Just give me all. Let me
Hmm.
get rid of him. And then you do this and you do that. They're all the same. They're cousins.
Yeah.
Now they're
But
killing
they're
each
being
other.
tricked.
Yeah, they're being tricked.
Yeah.
So it's happening here in the US right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening in the US because we have in the US, I still consider myself American. I'm a citizen. In the US, I still think that everybody has a collective mind or culture. We want to work, we want to take care of our families, we want to help our friends, we want to be productive members of society, we get along real well,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
We should remember that, not
Not the
in
other
its
Yeah.
side.
Exactly.
We can work out the differences,
yes,
but
yes,
it's not
yes,
point of contention. Yeah.
yes, and it shouldn't be a deal breaker,
Right.
this or that, because together, strong,
Hmm. The
not
honesty
together,
is
we're weak.
Goyim unite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. No, not even that far. Not even that far. I did listen to you talking about that Catholic girl that was kicked out of
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
the religious
Mhm.
kingdom
Committee,
thing.
yeah.
Yes.
For being a
It,
Catholic.
yes, yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, but I wanna point you out to something right now.
Point me out.
Yes. And it's called
Knesset, yeah. Oh, oh, IRAC.
yes.
All right.
It's the Israel Religious Action Center.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And what does this body do? Over there, what it does is it regulates what is a Catholic. It regulates what is an Armenian.
That pisses me off.
Right.
It regulates what is a Muslim,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
What it regulates what is, because they do that with their own people, because they have different denominations and they have the ones that could be more radicals and
Mm,
so it tells you what is it to be. So
right.
it have that committee power to decide that if you're outside of this, now you're an enemy of the state.
Right. If you're a Catholic, you have to be in support of Zionism because that would be
s-
somehow.
that the Catholic that's in that committee,
Yeah.
yes, even if the
Wow.
doctrine says otherwise. So this is what they're trying to do with that
That's
there.
bizarre.
The funny thing is, as much as y'all hate the Arabs, you need to learn a lot from them. No, no, as a society. You spent 20 years hating them. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got
Just
indoctrinated
kidding.
too. You got it. But even if you did,
I do think it's a problem,
it's fine.
but
Y- It's a problem here. I
yeah.
agree. You
Well,
got
in
indoctrinated.
Australia, in the UK and things like that, the overwhelming, it's
That's Indians, not Arabs.
well, no, no, that's Arabs as well. Arabs are being flooded into the UK and
Not
England.
not necessarily. So this is another thing, causation and correlation.
Okay.
I can explain that to you, and you will start seeing things different. I'm gonna red pill
Okay.
you on all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I know where you're going with that. We can talk about it after.
Are you talking about
yes,
the
yes,
the
yes, yes.
Muslim Christian thing?
No, 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 no.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Not Muslim Christian. Since 9/11, even before, you guys were primed to hate the Arabs, but the Arabs know their cousins a lot more than you do know their
Right.
cousins, right?
Yeah.
And every episode you're seeing here, they already seen
Hmm.
throughout millennia, right?
Right.
And I was just really telling you on that
Okay.
console of peace and all that stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
That's just to regulate. It's gonna be the body telling you what a good Catholic is, what a
What
good
a
Protestant is,
right.
right?
Yeah.
That's the start. By kicking out the one that's opposing to it.
Hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna go to everything, just like the Board of Peace. So you get that committee power, the Board of Peace. You know, you heard of it, right? Trump's
Yes.
Board of Peace,
Yeah.
and none of the major countries are participating.
Yep.
But it gives you some type of,
Yeah.
legitimacy. Look, you got all these goons here
Yeah.
agreeing with me. You know what I'm saying?
That's basically what it
See,
is.
every time
Yeah.
it's like an old move for bureaucracy, and
Yeah.
you create a committee, and that committee give you power. But who created the committee? You did,
Yeah.
and what gives
We
it
investigated
power? I don't
ourselves.
know. You just don't
Right.
know. You just do it. So that's what I'm saying. Uh, you got to learn some of this stuff from history and see what happened everywhere before, because there are powers here trying to defragment the
Mm.
American society, and the
Absolutely.
way where it's hidden, America is no exception to this. It's no exception to any other place. You're gonna start seeing your neighbors as your enemies. You're gonna fragment. They're gonna move to where they're gonna move to another state where other people agree
Mm.
with them. You're gonna move to the state where people agree with you, and you already see this.
Yep.
And then before you know it, disunion is no more,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there will be just a bunch of countries, and Florida will have a little sphere of influence. Texas will have a little sphere of influence, and California will do the same. And that's it.
Yeah.
And everybody's enemy.
And then divided and conquer.
Oh yeah, and then they're gonna
We're
show
already sort of being conquered anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I have a
So
couple wrap up rapid fire
mm,
questions for you. Answer them as quick as you possibly can.
mhm.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm go for it.
All right. Rapid fire. Who's the greatest musician of all time?
Mozart.
Is it true that Muslims don't like dogs in the house because they scare away angels?
That's not true. I have two dogs. Grandparent had dogs. He was breeding Salukis. Look him up. They look like greyhounds.
I never heard that in my entire life.
Yes. Well, it propagated. I heard that before.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
witchcraft real?
It depends. So who you ask?
I'm asking you.
It's hard for me to say a specific answer, but 25-year-old me will say yes.
Okay.
Because
Is
there's
l-
an occult. You know the occult?
Yes.
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 Mm.
Yeah.
Is love real?
Yes.
Indian people stink. That
Sometimes.
wasn't a question. What is hate?
Hate when you're hate is when you feel you're wronged and you just dislike that person and you wish them ill, I guess.
Are you racist?
No,
Why not?
I don't have to be.
Mm. Mm.
Who are the chosen people as of March 14th, 2026?
I would say still the Israelites. That's who got the covenant from God, I guess.
Okay. What is your greatest regret?
Not the the education I took. I should have taken different training.
How many homeless people have you killed?
None.
None. All right. Hey, bro. Thank you for coming on, man. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, we'll be back not next week, but week after.
Yep.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonah.
Yeah.
You're always welcome
Thank
back
you.
on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you go by your real name in